Hi all, I'm Pramod Gupta and I welcome you to my YouTube channel, Data My Passion. So if you are new to my channel, I bring a lot of content related to data science project end to end. So please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so that you will get all the notification related to my latest videos and share this channel with your friends. So in today's video, we are going to talk on another type of collection available in Python, and that is a list. So there will be total 3 videos on list, and this is a part 1 of video of list. Okay. So before understanding how list works in Python, let's see what is the definition of list. So by definition, list is an ordered mutable collection of elements having heterogeneous data types. Okay, don't worry, this definition might seems very difficult to you, but that is not difficult if we try to break them and try to understand that. So let's understand one by one. So when I say list, so suppose you want to so list is nothing but a collection of different elements, I would say. Suppose you want to store a employee information in a particular list, you would say. So suppose there are different details available about the employee name, suppose one detail, employment ID is another detail, employee salary is another detail, employee age is another detail, and employee address is another detail. So you have 5 things to be stored. Okay, so you have one approach, you can create different 5 variable and you can assign those information to 5 variable. Or another kind of flexibility has been given by Python developers. They given you a data set, not data set, data collections. Okay, so there are total 4 collections available in Python. So list is one of them. So what they did, they actually allow you to store all these 4 to 5 things into a single container, and that container they called as a list. So if you define anything, if you define any variable which is a list, it will hold a different types of data. So as I told you, right, name will be a string data type, salary will be a number data type, okay, and address will be another string. So you can hold different kind of data types. That's why you can see we have written here a list is a ordered mutable collection of elements having heterogeneous data types. So I hope you now got the meaning of heterogeneous. Heterogeneous means different types of data types. So you can store different types of data type into a single collection, that is called list. Now this is ordered and mutable. So don't worry about this word. I will tell you what are these in my coming section. So let's see. So if you want to just understand, ordered means in whatever order you insert data into list, it actually preserves the order in a list. That's why we call it as an ordered. And when you say mutable, it means that whatever you store in a list, you can actually change it later on. That's why it is called mutable. So list is an ordered mutable collection of elements having heterogeneous data types. So this is what definition means, that it's a collection of lists which is having different types of data type, and which is a mutable. I mean, you can change it later on, and it is an ordered. Whatever ordered you define while declaring the list, it stored the those values in the same order. So suppose you have stored name first, age second, so it will store age, name first and age second. It will not do age first and name second. No, it will not do that. In whatever order you will declare your data, it will save in the same order. So now let's see the property of list. So properties of a list. So list is an ordered collection. As I mentioned, in whatever ordered you will store your data, it will maintain the order. It will allow duplicate elements. So suppose you want to store your name twice in a particular list, it will actually allow duplicate elements in a list. And it's a mutable collection. It means that it's a collection which actually allow changes after your declaration. So let's see how can you declare a particular list. So you declare a list with the help of square brackets. So suppose this is your variable list1 equal to this empty square bracket. So if you define this way, your list will be defined, and it will not hold any element. So this is your empty list. So there are 2 methods to declare a particular list. This is using a square bracket, and there is a constructor called list, a kind of function. Okay, so using a list function, or a constructor, you can define the empty list. So there are two ways to define a list. Okay, so these are these two ways. Now suppose, now this is a list which you can see I have declared this is a list and which is enclosed by a square bracket. Here you can see the first element is 1, second element is 2, 3, 4, 5, and then ABC, and then 10.25, and then true. So you can see these are all integer kind of data. This is your string, this is your float number, and this is your Boolean type of data. So you are actually collecting all these data into a particular container. That's what I have explained you in the definition. So if that is not clear to you while explaining the definition, you can see with the help of example here. So you are actually storing all these variables into a single container, and this is called a list, right? So you have an option, right? You can declare one variable for this one, second variable for this one, third variable for this one. Likewise, these many variables you have to declare. So Python has allowed you so that you do not do the bad practice, and that's how they have allowed you a data structure called collection list, which allows you to store this kind of data into a single variable called list. So if I declared this list, you can see this is your list I have declared here, and this is I am printing here. You can see this is what I have declared as a list. Now this is another way of declaring a list. So this is a string, okay, and in that I have written a Python. So whenever you apply list constructor on type of this string, it will actually break your string into different characters like P, Y, T, H, O, N, N, and then it will break into characters, and then it will store as a list. So you can see these are the characters got splitted since you have used list constructor here. So we have these two lists, and suppose we want to combine these two lists, we can do with the help of plus operator. So you can see actually it unroll your list. This first list is unroll, and this second list it unroll, and then it combine these two data and then put it into a list. So that is why you are seeing this concatenation operation. So you have, whenever you want to combine the two lists, this is how you should do it. Very simple in Python. You have to just use plus operator. Okay, so plus is used to combine the two particular numbers. If it is an integer, it actually added. If it is a string, it concatenate. It means it added. And if it is a list, it actually unroll the two lists and then combine into one and then put it into a list. That's what you will see the concatenation of a list. Okay. Now, so if you have seen my string, video based upon string, you might be understanding this. For you, understanding this index and slicing will be very easy, because the same approach has been followed in list for indexing and slicing, whatever you have seen in the string. Okay, so suppose this is your list we have defined here, and then suppose you want to extract the first element. So in the list, same way, your index start from 0. So this is your 0 index, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is your 5th index, 6th and 7th. Okay, suppose you want to get the first element, then you have to say with the help of square bracket, and you have to say 0 position. So whatever element present as 0, just return me that. That's what this command means. So at the 0th location, first element is present, and that's why it is returning you value 1. Suppose you want to get the last element. So if you remember in the string case, your indexing start, if you go from left to right, start from 0, 1, 2 and so on. And if you go from right to left, like reverse, your indexing start from -1, -2, -3 and so on. So suppose if you want to grab the last value, you have to say -1, and that's what we are doing it here. You see, true, that's what we got, because we want the last element from the list. That's what we got, right? Now suppose you want to grab all the elements starting from number position 1. That's what I am doing here, right? So from 1 position it is 2 until last. So if you execute this command, you will get this answer, right? Because suppose you want to see all the elements starting from position 1. So for that you have to use colon, and left side you have to provide starting position, and right side you have not mentioned anything. So by default it will go up to the length of the string. Up to the length of the list, right? And that's how it will return you all elements. Now suppose you want to get all the elements till the index 6, starting from 0 till the element 6. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is 6. But remember, if you give your end position, it will always take one less your end position. So 6 if your end position, one less from 6 is 5. So it will print data up to here. So if you print like that, you will see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and ABC. That's what we got it here, right? Now, suppose you want data from 1 till 6. So from 1, so this is your 1 till 6 means 6 means here, but 1 less, 5. So it will print from 2 till ABC. That's what it should print, right? If you execute that, you will get like this 2, 3, 4, 5 and ABC. That's what we were expecting, right? Suppose now the next thing, suppose you want to reverse these elements. So there is another step size I have shown you in the string case, same way. Suppose you want to get the elements in a reverse order. So in order to do that, you have to, so there is a third parameter called step size. And whenever you want to go in the reverse direction, you have to say minus. And if you don't mention it here, your default size will be length of the string and this will be 0. So if you just execute that, you will get all the values in the reverse order. Okay. So it's a shortcut, I would say. If you want to reverse anything, just do in this way, indexing. Using indexing method, you can do that. Now suppose you want to display all the elements with the jump of 2. I mean, whenever you want to display first record, then third record, then fifth record, then this value, you have to use step size 2, and that's what we are doing it here. And that's we got 1, 3, 5, 10.25. So this is all about indexing and slicing of a list. Now let's move to the next section. Suppose you have declared a particular list. Now we want to access element one by one. How can you do that? Okay, so you can do that with the help of for loop. Okay, so this is your list. You can declare a list here. So you can declare in this way, for x in a list and print x. So means that one by one this list will be unwrapped and one value will come and assign it here. So in the first iteration, one value will be assigned to x variable and it will print x. So 1 will be printed. Now the second iteration, second value will come from list and it will go into x variable and 2 will be printed. Likewise 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 will be printed, if you see like that. So this is how you can retrieve one element at a time from a list. So there is another way. Okay, so this is how element you can access. Suppose you want to do it with the help of indexes. Okay, so how can you do that? You can use a range function, and in that range function you can get the up to what range you have to generate a number, right? So I have given a length of list. So length of list will come as 5. Okay, so if you put the value, so if I show you to you here, if I just go and execute a code, right? If I show it here, you will see length is given as 5. So if you put range of list, it will give you from 0 till 4 because this 5 will be excluded. If you do like that, you can see that here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This will be your list, right? So you are getting all those values 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and that is what value will be assigned one by one here in I. And from list you are using indexing. So list, when you say 0, list 0 will be 1. So list next iteration, list 1 will be assigned, list 1 will be 2, and that's how you can access each and every element. Okay, so this is how you can get the same result with the help of indexing technique. That's how you can retrieve a value from a list. Now let's see about nested lists. So you can create a list inside a list. So this is one list I have defined here. This is another list I have defined here. So in the list one, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 value I have defined. In the second list, you can see I have a value ABC, PQ, and XYZ I have defined. And suppose I want to create a list. There is another list called list 3, which hold true and false value as a Boolean type value. So we have these 3 lists. We can create a list in a list. So you can see this is what the symbol I am using for creating a list. And inside that list, I have given these three lists. So this is your list 1, this is your list 2, and this is your list 3. And if you execute this command, so this is where you are assigning list 1, list 2, list 3 variable. This is where actually you are creating a nested list, and this is where you are printing it. So you can see this is your list 1, this is your list 2, and this is your list 3. And again, it is a list inside a list. So this is your first element in the outer list, 0th element. This is your first element, and this is your second element. So suppose if you want to access this XYZ value, how can you access that? You have to use indexing technique. So you have to mention first list, and then in the first square bracket you have to mention this element, right? So this is your 0th element, this is your first element. So this is, you have to mention 1, and then inside this you have again 3 elements, 0, 1, and 2. So you have to mention 2, so that you will retrieve XYZ value. That's what you are getting. So this is all about nested loop, listed list. So I hope now the list is familiar to you. You understand whatever I have explained you in this video. There will be again 2 videos will be coming. So wait for that, I would say, and you will be pretty much clear with the list. So if you like my video, please subscribe to my channel, hit the like button. If you have any comment, any question, any queries, write down in the comment section. I will definitely reply to it. So thanks for watching. And again, this particular code is already given in my GitHub repository, so please have a look, and the link is already given in the description section of this video. So again, thanks for watching.